This is Dave Meltzer with the Playbook live at the Wynn Hotel in the Blue Wire Studios right here in the lobby. And I have one of my favorite players from the NFL. Unfortunately, he's not with my favorite team anymore, but Denzel Perryman, he's the Las Vegas Raiders linebacker. He is an amazing athlete, but he's also a great entrepreneur. But I want to get into that in a minute. Denzel, welcome to the Playbook.
Oh, man, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. I'm going to start with your number because you and I share a friend that used to wear that number 52.
Oh, yeah.
And I never saw the connection until I realized you went to University of Miami.
Yep.
What type of impact did Ray Lewis have on you, not just playing at Miami, but later on in your career on and off the field? Because he's probably one of the most inspirational, motivational people I've ever met.
Oh, yeah. I would say on the field, I mean, everybody can just, go watch one of his videos on YouTube, which I used to do a lot. I still do it to this day. That just gets me going. He's the reason why I had 52. My first football number was 52. My first pair of cleats were Reebok cleats, and that's when Ray Lewis were Reeboks. And we went down to Armour. I remember I had down to Armour cleats. So whatever Ray Lewis did, I wanted to do. The deck of cards, I wanted to do. Like everything Ray Lewis did, I wanted to do. And off the field, as I got older, I ended up meeting him, when I was a freshman in college. And after, we just kept in contact. If I had like any questions, about football or life in general, I could just pick up the phone and call him.
And one of the things that I have taken from Ray Lewis myself is this idea of enjoying the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of your own greatness, your own potential, your own truth. And you have a motto about motivation yourself that is aligned with my philosophy of consistent, persistent pursuit, and that's motivating yourself every day, every single day. And, that consistent behavior, what do you see the difference, the subtlety of success of being motivated every day and not just, taking, a 6-week vacation off and getting off the grid?
I say every day, man, you got to find it. Like some way, somehow, like you got to find it. Every day, somebody's going through something. I always say, it's not as bad as you think it is. Like somebody's day, can be way worse. Or, you just look at it simply. Somebody didn't wake up. That's how I look at it. Like it's God, allowed me to wake up this morning. So, why not be thankful? Why not get up and, like Ray always say, efforts between you and you.
I love that. It is. It's between you and you. And, speaking of you and you do have, your own life. And one of the difficult things that a lot of people don't understand is when I ran the most notable sports agency in the world is how much we have to invest in ourselves as professional athletes to get to where, and everyone thinks it's just about Sundays. I remember Marcellus Wiley, who you probably have known well too, playing for the Chargers. Marcellus always told me, he's like, man, I don't get paid to play football. I'm like, no. He goes, yeah, I love that. He goes, it's everything else that I get paid for. But it gets even more difficult. I can't explain this to people, how hard it must be that any day of the week somebody could call you and say, hey, I know you really love San Diego, or I know you really love, Las Vegas, but guess what? Here's your bag. Here's your hat. What's your hurry?
Yeah.
And all your friends, like, you've been in locker rooms your whole life. So you get this, and if anyone out there that's been in locker rooms, imagine somebody in the middle of your season when all you high school weekend warriors out there, somebody takes you your senior year and extracts you game 6.
Oh, yeah.
And says, oh, guess what? You're going to go over to the rival high school and play with all those guys.
Yeah.
That's what they do in the NFL.
Yeah.
And you've been doing that. Explain to me, number one, how you can put that mindset in and what effect and impact it has on you, just personally, not professionally, because once you get on the field, I know you can perform.
Yeah, so personally, to be honest, my rookie year was my first time ever like seeing and, experiencing that. I remember one of our D tackles went down, and literally within us getting out of meetings that afternoon, they already had another D tackle there. So it's just like, wow, it's not like, they don't care who you are, but, it's, at the end of the day, it's a business. You help the team right now, you can't help the team, so we're going to bring in somebody else who can. And, at the end of the day, you got to put, all your personal feelings, to the side. Obviously you're going to lose the relationships, the friendships that you did have. But at the end of the day, you got to understand this is a business. And, when everything happened with me, at one point, it's like, all right, well, I'm going from, from LA, to Carolina, and I'm at Carolina, for a while. Then, like you said, just a normal day. I get back home from, practice, from everything, and I get that call like, hey, it's the GM, and we're going to trade you off to the Raiders. It's like, well, I just got settled in over here. Now I got to pick everything up and move back over here. But instead of just fussing, and fighting about it, I've seen it as, God had another plan, for me, and like I said, it's a business, so.
Yeah, I like the words promotion and protection. When things don't go as planned,
Yeah.
we're just being promoted and protected.
Exactly.
We just can't see it. And to that point, Ray Lewis, like you and I, are extremely faithful people. One thing that I have learned is that there's something bigger than me, and that which is bigger than me, the all-knowing, all-powerful source, cares more about me than I can even care about my children. So what do I have to worry about?
Exactly.
All I have to do, like you said, is be motivated to keep the effort between me and myself. Do you ever lose that faith with all the challenges you have to face? Or, in a physical game like football, there's some monsters out there. Do you ever lose that faith?
Nah, I would say you don't lose that faith. I mean, you can get down sometimes, and feel like, you may not have that faith, but it's always there. I would say you never lose it. But, maybe getting down, like, I may not have it, it's always there.
And what about the longevity? Someone like me, when I get out of school, I'm thinking I got only get better and make more money my entire career. One of the biggest and hardest challenges is that, like you said, from that first day that you arrived at training camp, the defensive tackle became a new defensive tackle, and he may have never come back to the game again.
Yeah.
And, it's not a little bit amount of money. As an entrepreneur, what does it feel like to know that you're, one play away?
Just one play away, like you said, man. You got to be on top of everything. Like you say, it's just one play away. That's the best way to say it, man. One play away. Like my rookie year, that's just to start there. I was one play away from getting in the game, and I remember I think Meltzer had went down, and literally, right then and there, it's like, all right, you're starting. And my first game starting was against Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is around the time, he was on the commercials discount, double check. So I'm like, man, this is crazy. So I remember talking, to Phil about it. I was like, hey, man, how was your first game? Were you nervous? Was you this? And, me and Phillip Rivers had, a nice little conversation about it after practice. But, like you said, you just one play away. So, you always have to be prepared. And like, in my profession, what comes to longevity, that's, taking care of your body. Like you say, the things that people don't see, the massages that we have to do, the ice tubs, everything else. Everybody just sees us play on Sunday and not everything that goes into the week.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then beyond that, too, understanding that you have to put your life on hold.
Oh, yeah.
And, those are good years. You're a young, handsome guy, good years. And I'm thinking, is it worth it or isn't worth it? Is it worth it to you?
Yeah, I mean, I love the game. Passion is like a way of life for me, man.
I get it, man.
I can release so many emotions, on the football field. You gain a lot of relationships, not just on the field, but off the field also. And, just in life, you just make a lot of connections that you never lose.
And with those connections, you've had coaches, quarterbacks, captains. Who are some of the people, because you have been around a little bit, that really have stood out to you as leaders? Guys who, you look up to still today that you played with, not the Ray Lewises of the world that you idolize, like I idolize Ray, but guys that, have been either in the trenches or on the sidelines with you,
Man,
that take the best out of you.
It's a handful of guys.
Oh,
man.
yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. Like if I just start naming guys and I miss some guys, they might,
That's wisdom, man.
They might feel some type of way. So, like I said, it's a list of guys, man, and I greatly appreciate everything that they have taught me. Whether they're still playing or not, we still keep in contact. We still talk. How's your family? How's this? Oh, I watched you play. You need to work on this. So, it's still
awesome.
A connection, man. Like I say, those connections that you don't lose.
It's funny because I've had Darren Waller in here several times, and his wisdom's far beyond his years. And usually that wisdom comes from a parent or a coach. Things like that, they really say a lot about you. That you know enough to say, hey, I'm not going to list out people because I might forget somebody, and people mean so much to me. Who has given you that wisdom? coming forward, because that is something that's either genetic, energetic, or learned.
Yeah.
But you must have some significant family member.
Man, yeah. I would say when I was younger, mom and dad was, working a lot, so spent a lot of time, my grandparents around my grandfather, and he, taught me a lot. My dad come home, he taught me a lot. So it's been around just older people in general. You just see things, you see right from wrong, and you kind of learn just at a young age without somebody to have to tell you, and you just learn how to treat people, man.
Yeah, and I was blessed to play college football, not at the level that you did. I always call myself the average Division III football player.
But you still play
I
college
play,
football,
and I love it like you do, and I still love it. I found a way to make it my backdrop for life without getting hit anymore, which was really nice. But I still remember some of the best moments of my whole life. I'm 53 years old, and I still remember the one time that I got beat I played weak corner, and I got beat for a touchdown when the coach said, "Don't go for the pick," and I went for the pick, and it tipped off my finger. And then the defensive coordinator, like, "Don't put him in," and I was returning kicks, and the head coach said, "No, he's our returner," and I returned it for 6. And I remember just like that one instant of being the closest to just a happiness, like seeing your first child born.
Yeah.
Like, and I have to add this real quick, because sorry to take but you'll love this as a football dad. So I have one son. I got 3 daughters, 22, 20, and 17. And literally, man, I've sat through cheerleading long enough. and like, I can't, it's just, I love my daughters. I love the sport, but I hate watching it. Yeah. I love watching them. Anyway, so my son gets to play he waits a whole year because of COVID, gets to play his first Pop Warner game.
Uh-oh.
And he's a running back. 42 yards, first time, first play, first ball, runs for a touchdown. And I lose my mind. I don't want to be that dad, right? I lose my mind. I look at my wife, and I go, this may be better than the day he was born. You should have seen her face.
I know she ain't like that.
Oh,
I know
no.
she didn't like that.
She did not.
I know she didn't
And she's
like
like, have you lost your effing mind? But the point of my question, because I knew you would enjoy that, the point of my question is, have you ever felt that bliss on the field?
Yeah, just making them plays. I would say like just like that. I wouldn't say it's not the happiest moment of my life.
Yeah.
It's somewhat like like you're supposed to make those plays. Like, I guess now I'm at that point where, like, you're supposed to make those plays. So it's like, I'll be, happy, rah, but it's like, all right, so go make another one or make a better one,
Live in neutral.
Oh, yeah.
Like my boy Trevor Moe had taught people. Now, there's all types of controversy that goes on within an organization. People come, they go. Here in L.A., in Las Vegas, they had to lose their head coach. Yeah. And, I've talked to several of the players. How do you keep something like that from distracting you? Or is everyone in the organization just the same way? Hey, business as usual. This is a business. Let's move on.
I mean, people in the organization, try to keep guys from, reading into and feeding into that type of stuff. Because at the end of the day, I consider it crowd noise. Like all
noise,
these people,
white noise, crowd noise.
Exactly. Like when practice start, there's a bunch of people who comes in, they record, they take notice of whatever goes on, and when we actually start practicing, they leave. I consider that crowd noise to me. You just come in, you get your little story, and you kind of ask the players, what's going on, blah, 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 blah. Like, me personally, I don't pay attention to that because, like you said, there's a business. Like, if I'm worried about what's going on outside, what people are saying about this, what people are saying about that, how can I focus on what I really need to focus on? And for me, me personally, like I said, I eliminate, if it ain't have to do with our opponent, that week, I'm not talking about it. I'm not even thinking about it.
I love it.
So it's real, business.
But beyond the business, one of the things I love about you and why I put my team on making sure that when I found out you were here, that you'd come in to meet with me, is that I always love the athletes that although they're all business, they want to win that game, they're all focused, that they don't forget who they're there for, which is the fans.
Oh, yeah.
And from the time you were a rookie, I've watched you. And you're the guy that throws balls up in the stands. Yeah. Even to the fact that you still are a fan of Ray Lewis, so you appreciate what a fan is and how much he meant to you to look up to. Mm-hmm. And it seems to me that that there's some little kid out there that you could change their life just because you handed them a football, or like my son, you threw him a pass in Detroit. You may not ever remember it or whatever, but he remembers.
Yeah.
Right? He was so excited that I was going to meet you and tell you thank you from him. Yeah. That you did that. How important are the fans to you?
very important. I mean, the fans are the one, that keep us going. The fans are the one that fill up the stadiums. The fans are the people, they're there. They support us. They're the ones, cheering us on and everything. So I feel like, why not show that same support? Like, when I was with the Chargers, during training camp, if before practice, I'll, go throw a football, while special teams was going on. So, when you see him in Detroit, that was just me, doing something that I normally do. Yeah. And, like you say, you never know, how much of an impact that can have on somebody.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, and appreciate for everyone else that has built your brand behind your back of being just a good person who cares about his fans and cares about his team. Lastly, off the field, there's a lot of business going on for athletes. All types of athletes, and there's crypto and NFTs, and there's all types of new business that never was available before that makes it much easier to market yourself, to create your own brand, to make your own money outside of playing football. What are some of the things that, number one, are interesting to you, and two, when something is interesting to you in a business sense, what's your process of evaluating it? Do you have your business partners, vet it yourself? What are those things going on right today off the field for you?
Well, honestly, when it comes off the field and that type of stuff, I need to, start looking into that. Honestly, I'm really, I'll just be all about football. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but it's bigger than that. There's a lot of money to be made, outside of just football. And honestly, I have a marketing team. They pitch me some ideas, but I be so locked in with football. Honestly, I kind of just push off whatever they say to the side and really not listen. But when I do have time, I'll sit down and get into all that stuff.
I'm gonna tell you what I told Cam Newton. Man, take half the money that you get paid and you just put it away. Oh, yeah. Just save that money. And someday when you lose the first half, you'll be thanking Uncle David about saving that second half, and then you'll be prepared to double it right back in a matter of minutes. Take it from someone that lost over $100 million. I wish somebody would have told me how to save my money in that respect. Last thing real quick, because I have to ask, because you are such a motivation. You have kind of an old soul, great wisdom. So I always wonder, beyond Ray Lewis and looking up to him, are there any books, movies? Is there any quotes that come to mind when you're getting fired up, ready to go? Is there a song? What really gets you going into that motivational, inspirational, fired up state?
There's a bunch. As far as movies go, I will watch Remember the Titans.
Nice.
I like Remember the Titans.
Denzel.
Yeah. Watch Remember the Titans. As far as videos, I gotta watch a Ray Lewis highlight. I watch, a highlight from high school, a highlight from college, and a highlight from now when I'm in the NFL. And my number one video is Kimbo's Slice fight.
Nice.
His very first fight. That's my number one go-to video.
That is
to get me going, to get me riled up.
How about a song? One song? Any song? Or an artist?
A song. It's actually one of my highlights. I listen to it. Owl Nation, Sail.
Yeah.
I actually like that song.
I like that song too.
It's pretty different, but I like it. I like it.
That's what you are, man. You are pretty different in a very good way in your career. I am blessing you to be healthy, wealthy, worthy, and wise with it. I can't wait. You and Darren Waller, as a San Diego and now LA Charger fan, you and Darren Waller are getting me closer and closer to actually turning to the dark side.
Come on, man.
And now, I will tell you this: if it wasn't for Justin Herbert, I would have switched.
Look where your studio is.
Exactly.
You know Look where your studio
All right, I'm going to consider it only because I'm here with the very persuasive and motivational Denzel Perryman. He is the linebacker for the Las Vegas Raiders and a new friend of mine. Anything I can do to be of service to you, my friend, you got an incredible playbook to success. I'll say hi to Ray Lewis for you as well. This is just as inspirational. This is David Meltzer here in Las Vegas, the home of the Raiders, at the Wynn Hotel in the lobby with Blue Wire Studios. Thank you so much for joining me.